So what are the differences between the Super Hornet to the Legacy Hornets that we have in the game? So today we're gonna basically lay out all the main differences that you will probably expect to see from the F-18C to the F-18E or any Super Hornet that we get in the future. So let's just hop right into it. I don't want to lose any time. The first thing, guys, is that the F-18E and F, the Super Hornet, has a 20% more or less larger airframe. It is a larger aircraft, okay? This means, of course, extra weight as well. This means that the aircraft is, a much different aircraft to fly in a dogfight, but at the same time that it's larger and heavier, it also can have some good points about that. For example, more range, meaning more fuel. It has a larger payload that it can actually use, and because of the extra weight, it carries more powerful engines, and it has 2 extra hard points. So, of course, the aircraft itself, although it is larger, it's gonna be heavier, and with that, it will be a little bit more problematic because of that. It has, in a dogfight, it has some good points about it. Larger payload, more hard points, more powerful engines, more range. Not that you need too much of the range in the game, but anyway, you will have some downsides, but also some, upsides. Also, because of the larger airframe and the way that the aircraft will perform, being a little bit harder to actually maintain a good energy turning, it has also increased in size lurks. So basically the leading edge extension routes, they are larger, meaning you produce a little bit more, turning capability, basically, meaning more drag a little bit as well, but in overall, the aircraft will be able to try to maintain the same level of performance with being a heavier and larger aircraft, okay? Does that mean that it will be the same in the feeling? Probably not. It will probably be a heavy aircraft in the feeling as well, even though it has all of these things to make sure that the aircraft is still maneuverable enough, is still good enough in the turning capability. The main thing here is that the engines, the aerodynamics of these aircraft are becoming so advanced that they even let go a little bit of the performance because, of course, you have the modernicity of having modern-day raiders, modern-day missiles, which means that even though, yes, it would maybe be a little bit worse in the pure dogfight environment, modern-day combat is not a pure dogfight environment. So it kind of doesn't matter. Having more range is more important, basically, right? Having more hard points for more BVR missiles, having a larger and bigger payload. These are things that are more important to an aircraft in this day than just maneuverability. And the maneuverability is still there. It is still pretty amazing. So the aircraft itself, you've got to think that the performance will be similar, but it will be more on the heavier side. It is like comparing the F-16A to the F-16C Block 50, the Block 10 to the Block 50, right? It is pretty much the same kind of idea here. The Block 50 does not have the advantage in performance. If you put a dogfight between the two, the A will win it. It will be a lot easier to win it. But the thing is, does it really matter? Look at the BR of the two aircraft. Of course, the Block 50 is a way better aircraft. Better radar, better missiles. Everything is better on that aircraft. And the principle here is the same. The more we go into the future, the heavier the aircraft will be, but the better the systems will be, the better the trying to remain alive with other types of things other than just pure dogfighting capability will be there. Okay, so that's the main thing that you have to take from the Super Hornet. Before we go into avionics and stuff, it has also, with the whole, redesign of the aircraft, of course, stealthy features. It's not by any means a stealth aircraft, but it has a way lower RCS than a normal sized normal aircraft would have with the same size, So The aircraft has an engine layout, the wings, everything is, changed to be a little bit more stealthy, which helps a little bit with surprise attacks. And the idea here is that you are always trying to outrange the target with detection. So the idea with modern day aircraft is that you are trying to make sure you get into your missiles range before the enemies get to theirs, right? So a stealthy feature, make sure that you are going to be able to get into that aspect of you are in range of the enemy's missile, but the enemy is not seeing you sometimes from a very long range, right? So you can get into there and shoot a missile and you will be fine, okay? So that's kind of the idea with a stealthy feature in such an aircraft like this, right? Another thing, performance, is that pilots tend to say that the legacy Hornets, they tend to be faster, they tend to be in the terms of max speed. Acceleration, everything like that should be around the same, but the thing is, max speed, because of the way that the aircraft is designed, it won't be able to pass too much Mach 1.4 plus, right? So the legacy Hornets could get up to Mach 1.6, 1.7, kind of. Not easily, but it could get to that. This is from real pilots talking about it, right? And the Super Hornet would roughly be around 1.4, 1.5. So it means that the aircraft has this wall of aerodynamics that, although it has incredible engines, incredible aerodynamics, it's still more focused on low speed performance than anything else, which means that you will have an incredible acceleration, incredible turn speed, but no max speed. And the idea here is that even the computers, the fly-by-wires and everything inside the systems of the aircraft would be way better than the F-18C on the regards of low speed capability, right? So the aircraft, although it is larger, whatever, all the things that I talked about, the aircraft itself, when it's at those low speeds, it will be able to maintain a good enough performance where it can outperform the F-18 in basically the amount of controllability that the aircraft has. So it will be able to control itself in a better way in the very, very weird speeds and positions in the low capacity, the low range of the spectrum of speed, okay? And then, of course, we have to talk about radars. Obviously, initially, the APG-73 that we have in F-18C was used, but from 2010, more or less, the majority of the F-18Es was started to be produced with the APG-79, which is an AESA radar. Of course, these increase a lot of the range, the capabilities, and everything that a radar has. So probably once it's added to the game, it will have the 79, I would imagine, right? Not gonna bother too much with range and everything. It's an AESA radar, will be one of the best in the game, together with the Rafale, the Su-30, etc., right? Of course, the Su-30, it's a PESA, but you get the idea. And the last thing is, of course, new weapons. Not only it can carry more weapons with 2 extra pylons, it can also carry more and more advanced weapons. Of course, more advanced versions of the AIM-9, like the AIM-9X, more advanced versions of the AIM-120, like obviously the C5, but later D models, and of course they are introducing the AIM-174 as well. So there are multiple missiles that can be added there for air-to-air. The gun is still the same, of course, 20mm, Vulcan. Of course, it has the ability to carry Mavericks, all sorts of non-guided and guided bombs, like the paveways. It can carry the Rockeye cluster bombs, JDAMs, of course. It has the most modern, flares and chaff pods. It has towed decoy systems like the Eurofighter. It has data link pods. It has, all the most modern systems that an aircraft can have. Even, very advanced FLIR systems, radar warning receivers, infrared search and track, of course, mounted on the centerline external tank. So it has an IRST, but in the external fuel tank, which is pretty interesting, right? And of course, SLAM ER missiles, HAR missiles, anti-ship, anti-everything, joint standoff weapons, harpoons, everything. The Super Hornet is probably the most multi-role aircraft the US operates today, okay? But basically this is it, guys. So a whole bunch of new stuff that would make this aircraft be a step up from the F-18C, probably even a different BR. I would be really surprised if they are the same BR of 14.0. Let me know in the comments what the BR of the F-18E Super Hornet do you think it will be. And yeah, I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see ya.